Good day, viewers out there. You're welcome to the show. I hope you're doing well this time. You're welcome to this show, your show, my show, Kingdom Matters. On Kingdom Matters, we discuss everything and all matters under the sun about the kingdom. Of course, you know what I'm talking about. We are talking about matters, so long as they are educating, matters that are soul enriching, matters that are enlightening, and matters that are also that will also edify your soul as a Christian. Those are all the matters we discuss, and we'll be traversing from music to messages to word to individual to personalities on Kingdom Matters. So long as it's a Kingdom Matter, you can always be sure you'll find it on Kingdom Matters. And here we will always be here on Golf TV. Welcome to the show. And today, I'm happy, I'm delighted that I've caught a very big fish with whom we will be doing the real Kingdom Talk today. And that person, by the time he comes on screen, you will agree with me that we've really caught a big fish. Because when you're talking about Kingdom Matters, you actually need those who know to talk about the kingdom. And today I have with me in the studio the Deputy General Overseer of the Gospel Faith Mission International, a theologian, a father, a pastor, and a teacher of repute. And not just that, he is also a lecturer of the word, a leader of leaders. I have in the studio with me the Deputy General of the Gospel Faith Mission International, Pastor Dr. Emmanuel Oluwayemi. He will be coming on screen just immediately after this time out. Please stay there, don't go away. Yeah, it's still the show, The Kingdom Matters. And I have with me in the studio, like I said earlier on, the Deputy General Overseer of the Gospel Faith Mission International, Pastor Dr. Emmanuel Oluwayemi. Now, the matter that we have today, and the matter of the heart, and the heart of the matter today, I'm actually quoting somebody, is a matter that you need somebody who is actually qualified to talk about it. Please welcome my guest, Pastor Dr. Oluwayemi. You're welcome on the show, sir.
Thank you, my brother. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm happy to see you again. And the viewers at home, God bless you. Great time we're going to have together today.
And sure, that is it. We're going to have a great time today. And, of course, I'm going straight into it. So, there has been a history of different viruses in the world, outbreak of viruses in the world. We've had Ebola, and we have all kinds of viruses. But lately, it is the coronavirus pandemic. Is it going to go away at all?
Well, if you ask me to respond by faith, I would say yes. It's going to go away. Anyway, Ebola came, and we thank God that we're able to deal with it. Various diseases have come and gone. And I want to say that COVID-19 will also go. You know, as again, I talk as a Bible student and Bible scholar, and is a faith man. Jesus said, and it came to pass. So this one has come, it will pass. And I believe that this is not the end of the world.
Oh, so is there a place where science and faith, where they meet? Because I want to take that from your word. The current statistics about the coronavirus, especially in Nigeria, let's come to Nigeria. So far, about 207,000 people have been infected, and Nigeria has recorded 2,700 deaths so far. And around the world, over 4 million people have been killed by this virus.
That's true.
Are you saying that we should be looking forward to a time when faith and science will meet? That is, when science is saying, based on these figures, we will continue to see this. And faith is saying that, oh, it shall come to pass.
Well, you see, this is a big question, faith and science. If you look at the history of Christianity, great scientists have been Christians. I mean, God himself, does not work against science. He's the creator of science. Science is a human effort to discover what God has created. So God is not against science. The Bible is not against science. And so I don't want to go too far into that because that's a big discussion. But the fact is, all truth is God's truth. Augustine was the one that made that pronunciation. Whether it is scientifically discovered or whatever, empirically discovered or it's spiritually discovered, all truth is God's truth. So whatever is discovered by science is still God's truth. So God is not against science. So let's leave that for now. But in terms of faith, like the COVID issue, yes, I believe that by faith, as God pronounces, and as we have seen in history, diseases come and go. So if scientists say, well, it will take time for it to go, or it's going to come back again, nothing wrong for them to predict that, but we all know that diseases come and go. And so COVID has come, it will surely go. Then another issue I really want to emphasize is that as Christians too, we believe in the supernatural. And that is what in by faith, God works in the supernatural. God can bring healing, for example, which sometimes science cannot explain. And that shows the limitation of science. God is the one at work. Yeah. And those who are Christian scientists say, well, this is beyond what science can explain. Yeah. This is God. So we all know that.
Thank you so much for that. And that would take me to, well, why we wait in faith? That means that we are supposed to take precautions. And that's a basic thing about COVID-19. It comes with precautions in order not to be infected. But the observation is that, especially around in this part of the world, the sub-Saharan Africa, people don't seem to care. Some of those precautions are the use of nose mask, washing of hands, proper hygiene, washing of hands properly, in order not to avoid contracting this virus. Why do you think in Nigeria and in sub-Saharan Africa, people don't seem to take these precautions seriously?
Well, my brother, I think it's ignorance. Again, faith doesn't mean you should put your hand inside fire when it's burning. Faith doesn't mean you should, do what you know is deadly and dangerous to your health. If you are supposed to wear face mask, wear it. I wear face mask. That doesn't mean I'm faithless. No. I mean, we do just like any other thing. You do things that will protect you, prevent you from catching disease or from getting into accident or from dying suddenly. You do what you need to do. That doesn't mean you are faithless. God does not respect a faith that is putting God to test. And you need to understand that. And so if a situation happens that want to test your faith, it's different from you putting God to the test. You don't do that. And let me also say this. In Yoruba proverb, we always say that he's going to fall down and break his back. In other words, if you say God is my protection, and you use palm leaves to climb a palm tree, you're going to fall and you break your back. And God will still be God. That doesn't change God. You are just doing what is wrong, and it's not God that is giving instruction to do it. So we need to separate giving, God's direct instruction that we need to follow. Sometimes it gives us instruction that, humanly speaking, is difficult to understand. But that is different from voluntarily and intentionally violating the natural order, and you think it's faith. That's not faith.
Yeah, thank you.
That's ignorance, and that's madness.
Thank you so much for that. I think that's profound, and that will take us to another level of precaution. Now, this is a more far-reaching precaution, and that is about the COVID vaccine. Yeah. Now, you are a prominent leader in the Christian community in Nigeria, because your church, the Gospel Faith Mission International, is one of the pioneer Pentecostal churches in Nigeria, and you are the deputy general overseer of this church. What's your take on COVID-19, the COVID vaccine?
COVID vaccine.
What's your take on it?
Well, my take on COVID vaccine is just like, I mean, was it 2 days ago I read that WHO is approving malaria vaccine. I mean, so how many years it has taken to produce the malaria vaccine? When I read it, I said, wow, this is great. I mean, like any other disease, if a vaccine has been produced and has been tested empirically, and we know it's working, there's nothing wrong in taking it. However, as a faith man, as a Christian also, as a leader of Christians and Christian leaders in Nigeria, we encourage our members to take it by faith. Now, that's important. Whatever you do without faith, the Bible says is sin. I mean, you need to have faith in what you are doing. You need to have faith in the system. I mean, if you don't have faith in anything, it's not going to work for you. So I would recommend that COVID vaccine for believers, you know, should be taken by faith. If you are a man or a woman who have doubt in your heart, then you need to work on that and be sure of what you're doing. That would be my take on that.
All right, thank you. We really need to go on the short break right now. But just when we come back on the short break, we will want to know whose counsel should we follow? Because this, you're talking about doing it in faith and all that. And there has been voices, I must say, on this COVID-19 vaccine in the Pentecostal circle. There has been voices. So when we come back from this break, we want to know from our guest, Pastor Dr. Emmanuel Oluwayemi, whose counsel should we follow? Please stay right there. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to your program, your show, Kingdom Matters. And I'm here with the Deputy General Overseer of the Gospel Faith Missionary International, Pastor Oluwayemi. Now, sir, we've had different prominent leaders in the Christian community with different opinions about this COVID-19 vaccine. Now, we've had very prominent leaders, we will not be able to mention names here, who said from their pulpits, and they have very large following, that they are not going to take the vaccine. And we have also had one of our spiritual fathers, the other person too, the first person is one of us, is a revered man of God, and we respect him so much. One of our fathers too has also come out to say, oh, he will take it gladly if there's a need to take it. And the other person that says, no, he won't. And then there has also been those who say that if you take it, you are on your own. Whose counsel should we follow?
Well, I think a time will come when you will not need to ask that question. For example, if you are required to take it before you travel, then it's either you take it or you don't travel. Or you are required to take it before you go to public places, as it was done in Edo State recently. You then decide whether you go to your office or go to bank or you don't take it. I mean, you see, we are all living in an organized system, in a system called government. And when the government says this is how it should be, as long as it's not sinful, you know, the Bible doesn't give us permission to disobey the government, especially when what the government says is not sinful. And taking COVID-19 vaccine is not sinful. So I think we should obey the government, we should obey the organized system of governing the people, which is the government in every country wherever we are located, whether in Nigeria or in America or in Australia. You need to be obedient to the instruction of the government as long as it doesn't violate the word of God. And so I would say, let's obey the government. And another issue is, if you know that you are living in a place, a country where this virus is ravaging the place, you need to take the vaccine to protect others. Even if you don't want to protect yourself, for example, you need to protect others. I know people have been talking about your personal rights versus other people's rights. We all need to be, concerned about the well-being of others. For example, the wearing of face mask is not only for your protection; it's for the protection of others. You need to be considerate of others. I think those are the guiding principles that I will advise we should look into and use to make decisions as responsible believers and Christians in our various communities.
Yeah, so your counsel is that we should obey the government.
Yes.
We'll come back to that. Viewers out there, you are free, you are at liberty to send in your comments and questions on our social media handles that is displayed on the screen. Damilola Soko, I have your comment here, and I think that's I need a response to this. Is it advisable for us to take the COVID vaccine? And I think that's what you have just that's just what you have just answered right now. But you don't think that these different opinions by our leaders, does it seem to make the church look divided?
Well, somehow there was, there's always and there will always be different opinions. That's why we have different doctrines and theologies, different ways of looking at the issues, different ways of interpreting the Bible. That's what we call theology. Yes, there will always be different opinions, and there's no way somebody will promise you that all church leaders will say the same thing. Even in terms of interpreting the scripture, we don't say the same thing. Now to talk about scientific issues. So yes, does that make us divided as the body of Christ? No. But does that make the members a little bit confused? Maybe, yes. Some members will be confused. But what I will advise is church leaders need to come out clear to their followers, to those who are members of their various denominations. Give them guidance, and let our guidance, whatever we are giving them, be scripturally based and be also reasonable. Let it make sense. In other words, don't tell your members to do what you will not do. Don't give them wrong counsel. I think we should also lead by example. Agena Overseer published a book many years ago, a world-class book on leadership, and the title is Leading by Example. We must lead by example as leaders, and be sure. And if we make any mistake, if you make any mistake, come up and say, I'm sorry, I missed it. And we have seen many great leaders in Nigeria, pastors, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, what they taught about marriage, for example, they later discovered it was too hard, too tough, and they came to the public and said, I'm sorry, I think there are some things I didn't do well. We need to correct it. I will correct it before I die. I mean, that's leadership. That's Christian leadership. I thank God that I'm a Christian. I thank God I'm not a politician who will come up and cover up, I think even political leaders need to be sincere. We need to be able to say, I'm sorry, I missed it. And this is the truth. Truth must be told, and we must make sure we don't mislead our followers.
Yeah, I think that's a very important issue that you raised there, because I know that one of our spiritual fathers in the Christendom, Papa Deboe, actually said if taking the vaccine would help him advance
the gospel,
yeah, that he would gladly. Now, my concern now at this point is that, see, the church has such a large followership in Nigeria.
Yes.
And the place of the church, no matter even in the political space, the place of the church can never, ever, be overemphasized. Now, it means that what if the church does not get it right? Do you think Nigeria as a nation, the people, do you think they would ever get it right? Why I ask is that, now, if it is important, if we say it is important to follow these precautions on COVID-19, on the COVID-19 generally, now, the attitude of Nigerians generally seem to be nonchalant to these precautions, and especially this issue of COVID-19, I mean, the vaccine. What's your take on this? Nigerians' attitude generally?
Well, generally our attitude has been nonchalant. We have not been very responsive, and we have not been very careful. And you know why it is like that? It's because God has been merciful to us. I mean, look at the population of those who have died all over the world. Look at the percentage in Nigeria, so small. And so, because of that mercy of God, we are taking it for granted. Oh, we must not take it for granted. It is just the mercies of God that we are enjoying. I mean, look at the number in China, in Japan, in United States of America, in Belgium. I mean, I was watching in Australia currently. I mean, we see what is going on. We must not take it for granted. We must, be appreciative. Thank God for what He has done, but be careful. Be very careful, because if what happened in other parts of the world happened here, we would have been gone. We have been finished. Of course, the prediction of the world over Africa didn't come to pass. That is true. However, we need to be careful. The church also must lead in teaching, guiding, and helping our members and followers to also be careful and be responsible. Be responsible citizens. Be careful in terms of following the protocols, the COVID protocols, and also do what we need to do. Do what you need to do. Don't wait for anyone to do it for you. God will not do what you need to do for yourself. He will not do it for you. I think those are the things I will want to say. The church must lead. We must not mislead. We must guide. Of course, we are religious in Nigeria. The religious society is very, very much paramount and is influential. We must, as a church, as leaders, be good examples and guide our people rightly. I think that's very important.
Thank you. My next question is going to sound more like what you call a truth or dare.
Okay.
I hope you are prepared for my next question.
No problem. Go ahead.
Have you been vaccinated yourself?
I have not.
Why?
Well, several factors. One, the arrangement for vaccination in Nigeria has not been very good enough. The procedure also, I have tried 1 or 2 times to register, but I couldn't get a place. So I'm still going to do it, especially like one of our leaders said, if that will help to advance the gospel. For example, if I'm to travel today and it's required that I must do it, I think I'll be forced to look for a place by all means, even though the system has not been encouraging. But I will do it. There's no doubt that I'm willing to do it, and I'm saying it here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be vaccinated. It's not because I will not be vaccinated. That's why I have not been vaccinated. No, it's just because the process has not been very favorable.
And is the government, in your opinion, is the government doing enough to encourage people to get vaccinated?
I would say not quite. The government is not Nigerian government particularly,
yes,
is not quite
Nigerian
enough.
Government.
Looking at the population of those who have taken a full vaccination in Nigeria, currently we have 2.17 million people that have been fully vaccinated in Nigeria. That is just 1.1% of the Nigerian populace. 1.1% is small compared to a country like United States, where you have 187 million, which is 56.8 million. I mean 56.8%, and Brazil, 99.3 million, 46.7%. India, 19.4%. Nigeria is 1.1%. So there's still a long way to go in terms of publicity, in terms of making it accessible, in terms of working against the fake vaccines. Part of what scared me the first time when I was making the move was the fake vaccination. The Minister of Health publicly announced that there was fake vaccines, in circulation. I mean, that was the first thing that put me off. I said, look, I want to be sure we have the original before I take it. So we must make sure we avoid this dangerous, discouraging, situation that will prevent you from taking it. Information need to be, sent out to, everyone. We need to use available networks, the civil societies, the religious communities, to pass out information that will help people to understand what the vaccine is all about, how to access it, so many news are out there that are misleading people. People are getting all kinds of fake news. The social media is not even helping matters. So we need a lot of work to be done in order to get where we want to get to.
Thank you so much, sir. It's good to have you. It's nice having you on the set. We will be going on our last break on this program. But just before we go on the break, we'll be coming to the last part of this program. But just before we go, Olufolabi Festus Ayodeji is saying that the attitude of Nigerians towards COVID-19 is not encouraging. Many are the reasons government, politicians, and the elite, because the government officials and politicians are not walking their talk. That's what this person is.
That's true.
That's what this person is saying. Okay, I have another comment here, but we'll come back from the break and take the last segment of this program. It's Kingdom Matters with Dr. Emmanuel Oluwayemi. Please stay right there. We'll be right back. Yes, welcome back from that short break. It is Kingdom Matters. Now, I have another comment here. Yeah, keep your comments coming on all our social media handles. We'll be taking them as they come. I have all right. In fact, this is very apt. Does this comment here, there's a question here. I also have it here. Okay. Does COVID-19 has anything to do with the mark of the beast?
Well,
incidentally, I have a question here, and it's one of the things I have written here. Does it have anything to do with mark of the beast?
The answer is no. So, but let me explain.
Oh yes, because as you explain,
yes,
I want to let you know, yes, if you don't know, yes, that we have also had prominent Christian leaders go on live TV several times, in fact, doing series on this, that COVID-19 is one of the tools of the Antichrist.
Well, the issue of Antichrist is very clear in the Bible. An Antichrist is a person. It's not a system. You need to understand that. We need to know our Bible. The mark of the beast is 666. It is true that they are trying to see COVID vaccine as but it's not. I mean, my brother, there have been several, in the history of Christianity, there have been several attempts to identify an individual or an event or things to the mark of the beast or the coming of the Antichrist, and we all know that none of them worked because they were not true. And this one is not true also. The COVID issue is a disease, whether there is a link with the end time event or not, that one is not an issue. We know that the Bible says at the end of the age there will be all kinds of issues, including diseases. We know that, and so if you want to interpret that to be one of the signs of the end time, great, it's possible.
Okay.
However, this is not the mark of the beast. This is not the Antichrist, because they are not related. The Antichrist, as I said, is a person. The mark of the beast is a physical mark which you have to bear. And the time it will appear is not now. It is after rapture has taken place. Rapture has not taken place. We are still here. Man, look at your Bible. We are still here. We have not gone. The believers are still here. So let's not confuse ourselves. Let's not, die before death comes. Let's not kill ourselves with wrong doctrines. Let's be clear. This is not the mark of the beast. This is not the Antichrist.
And how about the 5G? It was also linked with the 5G that the COVID, the 5G network on the global communications satellite is what is bringing the coronavirus. And of course, there was a time, in fact, like I said, there's one of that same man of God who also, he spent millions to go on live TV, trying to canvass and campaign against the government bringing the 5G network into the country.
Well, to be frank, so many scientists have talked about 5G. We all know that 5G network has its own side effect. Because, we know that. We all know that. However, we know there are benefits in terms of technology, the speed, and all of that. So there's nothing that doesn't have side effects. Most of the things we do, even the medicine we take, has side effects. If you take too much of antibiotics, it can affect your organ. So, yes, 5G network has its own effect, but it is not 5G that caused COVID-19. We know that. I mean, Ebola came, was it 4G or 3G that caused Ebola? You see, let's be clear about this. Disease is disease, and whatever we are doing, we just need to face reality and stop guesswork. I think that is when that was brought up middle last year. It was a big issue, but you discover it's no more an issue today. It's fading away because whatever is not true will not stand the test of time. Truth will always stand the test of truth. Is always true. Wherever it is taken to, and regardless of the time or season or period, truth is always truth. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And that takes us to what do you think is the best way, that government can address doubts of people and in some cases indifference to this COVID-19, to receiving the vaccine? Because when you look at statistics, between when the COVID started around April in 2020, it rose up there, and then there was a time it went down, and then between January, February, and March this year, it went so high up, and it claimed so many lives, and then it went down. Around June, August, everybody was like, oh, maybe COVID is gone. And then, of course, again, we started. Now, there is another question, which I believe might also, one of the reasons that triggers people's doubt, is that we have seen cases where some who received the vaccine also died. But a prominent figure, Laddie Williams, the son of one of the prominent lawyers in Nigeria, he received the vaccination and eventually he still died of the COVID-19. So what do you think is the best way government can address the doubts and the indifferences in Nigeria?
Yes. First of all, the story of somebody who received it and died, there is no evidence that it was the COVID vaccine that killed the person. And also, if the virus have gone too deep into your system, vaccine cannot stop it again. We know that. So let that one be clear. If it has affected your lung, your breathing system, the vaccine is not meant to cure. Is to help, prevent. And I think we need to understand that. However, the government needs to work harder in terms of getting the right information out. As I said, out of 7.13 million doses given to Nigeria, we have only administered 2.17. I mean, where is the remaining 5 million Why are we holding them? Why can't we? People need to have access. There's nothing wrong to take these vaccines to places where people are and make them available. I mean, if you are serious, you want people to get it, make it available, get information out, use the structures in place, use the religious society, as I've said, use the civil service society, use, civil organizations and different channels to get information out and get people to be interested in taking the vaccine. I think that is key. If we really, you see, we must stop playing lip service. People are no more trusting our government. They are doubting their sincerity. They are doubting their integrity. And that is very, very important for the government to know. We must not use COVID as a strategy to make money for the government. Look at what happened with all the items donated, last year. Yeah. The NSR people exposed them.
The palliatives.
Yeah. Why do you have to keep those things? And how long will it take to get these things to those who need them? These are things that the government need to work on so that there will be confidence and trust in the government. I think that's the key issue.
Thank you so much. Just before we wrap up, what's your final word? I'd like that your final word to people out there to be on taking care of their health, because it's COVID-19, coronavirus. What's your final word? I would like it to be on how people can take care of their health.
Well, I'm not a physician, I'm a pastor, but I think we all know basic things we need to do to take care of our health, whether it is COVID or any other diseases. We need to maintain, good hygiene. That's very important. Environment needs to be clean. If you talk about malaria, for example, if you live around a place where there is, water here and there, and the malaria parasite is able to breed and grow, and you're going to be infected. That's not demonic attack. That's not devil. It's just that you are not healthy. You're not living in a healthy environment. I mean, your eating habits is important. We all know that. Let's eat well. Let's take care of our environment. Let's ensure that what we can do, we need to do it. Oftentimes, we blame the government for everything. I think we need to take responsibility for our well-being as people. The religious communities, also churches, need to talk about health. Use the pulpit to talk to your people. I do that in our church. I talk to our pastors. When you have night vigil back to back and you don't have time to rest, and you think that it's demonic attack when your back is aching you, my friend, it's not demonic attack. You just need to watch how you use your body. Is not even machine you use. You have to service the machine. Take good care of yourself. Take responsibility. Eat well. Pastors, talk to your members. Let them, don't overstretch them. Don't let them do things that will affect their health, and then you end up, spending money or casting out demons that are not there.
Wow, thank you so much.
What you need to do, and then the Lord will keep us and watch over us.
Thank you so much. I think you've really helped us. It's Kingdom Matters. I said at the beginning that in Kingdom Matters, you will be educated, you'll be enlightened, and our guest today has really helped us to do justice to the topic. There has been enlightenment. There has also been edification. And so, what have you today? Thank you so much, sir.
I must thank you too.
We really appreciate your coming, and it's been very interesting time with you on this program.
It's my pleasure to be here. I want to thank you too for putting up this program. I think it's an opportunity to share with viewers and to let people know that we also care about them.
Thank you so much, sir. And I hope we'll be looking forward to having you some other time to discuss other very relevant Christian matters in the kingdom.
I'm always available.
Thank you so much, sir. And to our viewers out there, I hope you've enjoyed yourself watching this program. Thank you so much for being there, and we'll see you at the next time out. Bye-bye.